What is up, Simple Church? How y'all doing this morning, huh? Yeah, that's feeling good, man. Welcome, man. We're so glad you're here, man. If you're a guest, you should have gotten a bulletin. It looks a lot like this. We are launching a Do Good series today, and for King and Country is here with us to do it. Let me let you hear it already, huh? Yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you're a guest, man, make sure you fill out the back right here and then drop it in one of the giving stations on your way out. It's the best way to communicate with us about things going on in your life. You have prayer requests, you have needs. And at the same time, man, we can email you things like this. If we're doing a concert or something special is going on, we'd love to be able to keep you informed about what is going on in the Simple Church and how we desire to impact this community and this world. And we do it through people just like you, man. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. You have impact and you have a chance to make a huge impact right where you're at. So right now, right over, just turn to somebody next to you and say, dude, you looking good. Give them a shout out. In the dark, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, now you're feeling good. That way you kind of loosen up a little bit, and then now turn to the other person and say, man, keep doing good. Keep doing good. Keep doing good. All right, why do I say that? Because, man, this is a special, special day. And I promise you, before you leave, you're going to go, man, I am glad I came to church today. This is going to be something very, very unique because you're going to get to hear the inside story of this great band. Man, they are just really doing some amazing things in the country right now. And we get to hear what is going on in their personal lives as well. So you just be glad that you came today. But let me go back real fast and just remind you about this whole Do Good series because next week is important as well. And we're asking you to bring shoes. That's right, tennis shoes, sandals, it doesn't matter, dress shoes, whatever, you're mowing the grass shoes, whatever you have, you bring them back and we're going to donate them to people in poverty around the world. And you're going, mowing the grass shoes? How are they going to do that? They actually recycle the shoes that are in the worst condition and they give us money for that, and we take that money and we help people around the world. If the shoes are in great condition, they clean them up a little bit, and we make sure they go into the countries that need them the most, where people desperately need shoes. So even if it's dress shoes, so many times, man, people need shoes to be able to go into a job interview. Ladies, they need nice shoes to be able to go into these interviews and things, and they cannot afford them. And this is a simple way to do good, and it doesn't cost you anything. It helps you clean out your closet. Can I get an amen on that? You know what I'm saying? And if you're cleaning out your closet, you might as well go to the t-shirt row, wherever that is, whether it's a drawer, whether it's, one section of your closet, because the next week we're asking you to bring t-shirts. Why do we want you to bring t-shirts? We are actually making them into blankets that go into chemo stations, man, where people are experiencing chemo, going through chemotherapy. We actually are creating blankets for them, and it's out of old t-shirts. How cool is that? All you have to do over the next couple of weeks is bring your old t-shirt. If it's a Do Good shirt, it's great. Simple Church is great. If it's whatever, we'll use it. Just bring them back. We're going to cut them up, and they make some amazing blankets. I'll bring one next week just so you can see it. It really is cool, but you need to bring your old t-shirts. And then lastly, old cell phones. Any technology like that, you bring that again on October 27th. We're going to have bins for you to put all this stuff in. We're going to recycle those things and again, take all of the proceeds and help those in poverty locally and around the world. And it's as simple as that to do good. One other thing is the Do Good store is open today at the Louisiana Boardwalk. If you want to go check it out, man, we'd love for you to go down there. All of the proceeds, again, go to make a difference in the world. So if you want to go find some cool products, man, you can go down there. It's open from 1 to 6 today, all right? Lastly is Africa New Life is joining us today. It is who we do our child sponsorship with. We have about 450 kids that we sponsor in the country of Rwanda, and we have been going since 2007 every year, multiple times a year sometimes, to impact the lives of kids. And if you're interested in helping us with that, please, when you walk out tonight or today, look for this right here. There's a tent with these little kids on here, so special, man, and you have a chance to change a life, to do good in a kid's life. So we'd encourage you to go by there, talk to the guys out there, and again, pick up a kid so that you can impact the world, do good worldwide, all right? Are you ready for a good day today? That's what I want to know. Remember this, for King and Country is coming back tonight as well. It is a concert starting at 6:30. The tickets are $10. You're going to go right outside, and it is at the box office right here. The tickets are on sale for $10. We're giving all of our proceeds to the country of Rwanda, actually partnering with Africa New Life to help them, again, people in poverty. So none of the money's coming back to us. We would love to be able to have you here and have a great gift that we can impact those kids with as well, all right? Don't forget 6:30 tonight. Make sure you get your ticket, all right? If you're ready for some King and Country, let me hear you one more time. They are here. We'll see you in a minute.
delete. Still face to face with the younger me. And all of the mistakes, all of the heartbreak. And here's what I do differently. I fight for the weak ones, speak out for freedom, live a life for another, take time for a brother, love like I'm not scared, give when it's not fair, find faith in the battle, stand tall with above it all, and I'll fix my talks the talk, 'cause the road less traveled is hard to walk. And it takes a soldier who knows his orders to walk the walk I'm supposed to walk. Fight for the weak ones, speak out for freedom, live a life for another, take time for a brother, love like a when it's not fair, find faith in the battle, stand tall with above it all, and I'll fix my eyes. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no.
like that so far, huh? What? Dude, let me tell you something. You're in for a treat today because it's not just great music, man. You're going to get to hear the inside story. If you're ready for that, give me one more time and let me let them know. Come on, let me hear you. That's right. This is Joel and this is Luke for King and Country, man. How cool is this, man? Thanks for being here. Thanks for making it a priority to be in church, right?
Thanks for having us. Nothing like a few drums to wake you up in the morning.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. How cool is this? Now, this is pretty cool. If you don't know, you've probably figured this out pretty quickly, but you guys are not from here. Where are you from?
We are originally from Louisiana.
And he is a liar.
No, we're originally, at least the two of us are originally from Australia, but this is a true story, all jokes aside. 3 of the other fellas up here on stage with us are from Ruston, Louisiana.
How about that? Give it
Yes.
up, Bulldogs!
Stomping ground right here.
Go Bulldogs.
We're truly beggars for punishment.
That's right.
You took 3 of them. That's exactly right. This is pretty cool. Australia, you know, Australia is close to my heart, man, for a lot of reasons. A lot of talent coming from Australia, obviously with you guys, but it goes deeper for me because in a couple of weeks, I've got my anniversary coming up, all right? 15 years married.
Wow.
Pound it, son.
Congratulations.
Boom. All right. And
I'm going on a solid 90 days of marriage.
90
right now.
days,
Yeah.
that's exactly
You could
right.
talk to him about a lot of
We'll
things.
keep working. But there's a special guest coming in just for my anniversary. Well, not really, but here's his picture. This is what's coming up here in a couple of seconds. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Keith Urban is coming to town, man. That's an Australian boy.
quite a
Yeah, he's
tan
coming to
he has
Shreveport,
there.
Bossier, yeah. So we're going on a date night. Ooh, it's gonna have some more Australian love, all right? And isn't Nicole's from Australia too, isn't she?
is, yeah.
Weird.
She's been here a long time. I don't think she has a very Australian accent anymore.
Yeah, she's strange too. But anyway, Keith Urban from Australia. I mean, is she not weird? I mean, come on, dude. She's a little weird.
He's a Philly countryman, all right? So back off,
I'm
buddy.
sorry, my bad.
Come on,
But
man.
it goes better than this. Not only are we going to Keith Urban in a couple of weeks for our anniversary, we also grew up watching someone who inspired not only me, but my kids as well. Cracky, mate.
It's crikey.
Oh,
You keep
sorry.
saying cracky.
I'm
Crikey,
trying to
mate.
become Australian, but it's not happening. Crikey?
Cracky.
Crikey.
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 Okay,
Aye.
whatever. How about him right here?
Oh,
My
yeah.
boy, Steve, our
Good
younger
old
Steve.
Steve Owen.
We do love him.
Dude, how many grew up watching Steve? Come on, man.
They still have his show on all
Do
the
they
time.
really?
don't
I
they?
knew his daughter kind of helped
Yeah,
out.
she's working towards it. I tell you what, there's only been a few moments in my whole life where I remember where I was, what time it was, and when I got the news that he'd passed away. He was obviously an icon for us Australians. So it was a
Do you
sad
see how
day.
serious he got right there, dude?
I know.
Way to bring it down,
Sorry.
man.
Dude, I understand.
Debbie Downer right here.
Dude, I really was that way as well. I'm serious.
too.
I was like, man, that's kind of sad and just a weirdly, really strange. But anyway, we're going to turn to a positive note, all right?
Yes.
Positive note.
Okay, positive
Because
note.
I grew up in the 80s. Anybody here 80s? Come on, let me hear you. See, this is the mature audience,
Good.
okay? But this is Australian gold I'm bringing to you right now. You ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you, yes.
How many of you actually know who that is?
Right? Yeah. But
All the old folks.
Steven, listen, man. Look, put him back up there. Hold on a second, Luke. Put Rick back up there for me. I want to just show you something. See, look at those striking good looks, just like you Australians here, mate. Look at there. Right?
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Neither
Dude, you
do I,
wouldn't be
actually.
here without somebody like Rick. Do you understand that? Man, this is cool. So you can tell we're going to have a lot of fun today, but what's really, really special about today is we get to know a little bit about you. How long have y'all been in the States, really, and how'd you get here? What's up with that?
Well, we're two of 7 children. Actually, my father and my mother are both here today. And my father manages us, and he's been in the music industry in different ways for many years. In fact, some of my first memories in Sydney, Australia, and this is a throwback to your vintage again.
Yes, vintage.
Was looking at vinyl 45 records of Striper.
Yes.
And yes, Yellow and Black Attack.
Yes. Now you're
Dad
speaking
would
my-
bring over artists like Striper, Amy Grant, Whiteheart, all your
yeah.
favorites.
The sad thing
Do you
is,
like
though,
modern music?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, the sad thing is they don't even know who any of these people are.
I know.
But to me,
At any rate,
Right.
for those of you that do know, some
Right.
old kind of classic, more Christian artists. And so music was sort of a way of life. We would always have bands and musicians coming through the house. And when Dad got offered a job in America, this was in the 90s, so we moved over as a whole family. It was the first time we ever came here. We moved straight to Nashville, Tennessee. About a month after we got to town, Dad lost his job. And so we were in a furnitureless house, sleeping on beds made out of clothes, without a car, and not enough money to even pay to get back to Australia. So we remember it well. We would sit in a circle as a family. We would just pray for everything, because that was all we had left, was prayer. And just saw God do incredible things. You know, we're at our wits' end, and we would pray. I mean, we prayed for a car. And the first Thanksgiving we were here, we'd met this family. Somehow we ended up at their house. It was the first night we'd met them. At the end of the night, the father came up to my mum and said, "Hey, I really feel like God's prompting me to give you the keys to my brand new minivan. Someone anonymously paid for my little sister to be born in a hospital. We didn't have insurance at the time, and people would just come over and would drop groceries on our doorstep, or the landlord would forget to collect rent. I mean, just incredible, kind of crazy circumstances that really ultimately led us into music in the end.
You know, how cool is that? You know, we're talking about this whole Do Good series, and that's kind of what we want to be known for as a church that's not just talking about it, but doing it. And now you see the impact, man. You never know, man, by blessing someone, by meeting a need, by seeing a need, man, all of a sudden now it impacted your life still to this day. You wouldn't be here without that. And that's why I keep challenging y'all, man. It's not just about talking about it or being inspired by it or watching a video. It's like, man, you have the power to do the same thing when you walk out of here. So much so, too, they may not know, if they're in Christian music, you have a famous sister as well.
Yeah, we have our oldest sister is a girl that went by the name of Rebecca St. James as an artist, and
See,
she
there's like one
we
person
traveled
out there
with-
heard that. Yeah, they're like,
thank
wow,
you.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
But she is in the Christian world, man. We were on the same record label. When I remember, if y'all were here, we brought in Jeff Moore, did kind of a similar thing. He was on Forefront Records. Rebecca
right.
was on the same record label. So
Yeah.
very, very
And
popular.
we traveled with her growing up through our teenage years, and that's how it kind of was our apprenticeship as musicians.
Wow, that's pretty
if you
cool.
will.
Pretty cool. All right, so now the name for King and Country, a little different. Okay, there's a little history there. Can you tell us about how you even got the name of the band?
Well, we came up with an awful lot of terrible band names for quite a while.
Actually, to correct that, I came up with a lot of terrible band names. Luke came up with exactly 0 band names.
Yeah, but you always have to have somebody to tell the other person how bad the other names are.
right.
So, that was my job. But anyway, a lot of bad band names. And on one particular day, we're working on this project and on this record, and Joel comes into the studio with All the King's Men, like the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme, which was another bad name. But our producer at the time spun around in his chair and he said, "Oh, no, what about For King and Country? Like the old British mantra that they used to chant before going into battle." And Joel and I both looked at each other like, man, there's really something to that. And then it wasn't long after that we kind of realized that there was a mission statement in that as well. The reason why we do music is for our king and for our country, for people. And so it's always been a little bit interesting because every time people announce us on stage, we're always keenly reminded of the reason why we do music. The reason why is because we do it for our king and for our country.
And that, when they announce us with the correct name, we have had some mispronunciations. The first show we ever did, it was, "Ladies and gentlemen, God and Country." And then
And that makes you feel really good when they can't even get your name right going on stage.
This is true. This is a true story. Last night we're in Waco, Texas, and we look at the tickets and it says Jeremy Camp and King and Company.
We were in Waco, Texas, so
it is Waco, right? Well,
Right.
this is what's cool. We love your name. We're glad you're here. And this is what many of you may not know is they're not just in the Christian music industry. They've actually crossed over a little bit. And there's a couple of ways you've done that. One is your music has been picked up for some television shows. One is on the CW. I think it's called The Vampire Diaries. We have a picture so you can kind of understand. Yeah. See? There's some fans
closet
out.
fans.
They've been
Yes.
on there, dude. How cool is that? What?
They were very tentative
Right?
about that clapping. They were like,
Yeah, I'm not
Am
sure
I
if
going to be
should
judged?
If I should be talking about bloodsuckers in here, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. This is weird, man. I don't know what Australia. That's not
like
even Australia.
British.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't need to do that anymore.
"This is weird, man."
This is my problem is whenever I get around people, it's like I try to pick up their accent and I'm good at none. So thank you for
You should
bearing
quit
with me.
trying.
Yeah. See? Okay. All right. Thank y'all. Now let's get back to the message. No, I'm just kidding, bro.
Great to be your guest.
Yeah,
here
right.
today. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. CW. I mean, what else? Anything else that's kind of done like that?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate for this so far in our career. This is only our first album out. And one of the coolest things that we got to do was in January earlier this year, we got to play The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And I think both Joel and I looked at each other like, how did we get here? It was definitely one of the highlights of our career. And we actually asked the booker, the person that decides on whether or not to bring artists in or not. We were like, why did you pick us? You know what? You can pick anybody pretty much to come on this show. Why'd you pick us? And she just says, when I heard the music, there was just something about it. There was just something that I liked. And I just decided, I thought I should have you guys on the show. And I thought that when I heard that response, I just thought, what a cool way that I believe the Holy Spirit works in just really unique ways. Because this lady, certainly wasn't a Christian, and yet somehow something sparked in her, and she said, I want to be a part of that. And so we have been able to do that, and in the television shows as well. And I think we have a firm belief that if we can do music excellently, and we can put our faith and our trust in the Lord, if we honor Him through what we're doing, and we just say, this is who we are, this is what we're going to say, this is what we're going to do, we don't know where He's going to take us, and we do believe that He can knock down all sorts of walls. So we're kind of on this wild adventure.
It is pretty cool. just recently we had Sonny. Anybody familiar with the band POD? Do y'all know about that band? They're kind of they're a 90s heavy metal band. Well, they came to town, and we were talking about this a little bit. Here's a picture of Sonny, the lead singer, and these guys are really out there, man. They are touring with Ozzy Osbourne. They're kind of on these crazy tours, but they're strong believers. And so when Sonny came in, we had a very similar conversation we sat down just talking about, because he was catching a lot of flack for actually trying to influence and be a positive influence in the world and be a Christian in that world. That's one thing I was talking about. Have you caught a lot of flack for going on Leno and for, the shows that you're getting on?
I do think in the last decade there's been a lot of positive movement in just embracing people being in the arts in general, no matter what genre. But speaking of Leno, we did have a woman write in on our Facebook actually afterwards, and she said, she just verbalized her extreme disappointment that we'd taken a song that is a very God-centered song. It's called The Proof of Your Love, straight out of 1 Corinthians 13. She said, I was so disappointed that you took a song and you turned it into entertainment, I think was her wording. And Luke replied concisely, but we both shook our heads, and it was kind of a sobering moment for us, because I feel as though throughout history, whether you look at some of the most beautiful paintings that were ever done, or some of the most defining music throughout history that was ever created, it was always connected to God and Jesus.
It is.
And we sit here and we claim we are in touch with the creator of the universe. We are in touch with the creator of creativity and of excellence and of art. And yet so often we're stuck playing second fiddle to the folks that aren't. And so our hope is through this, that not for self-gratification, but for the sake of honoring God, that we can, yes, be entertaining, yes, be inspiring, yes, be capturing, and without the expense of kind of hiding away in corners and not really saying the name Jesus, but proclaiming it, because he is countercultural, and in my opinion, he's the coolest thing since sliced bread,
Absolutely. Really, really cool. It's fun. Yeah, give him a round of applause. That's exactly right. I just found it interesting. Me and Sonny had this whole conversation because I went with him down to the club. They played a local club, it's a pretty rough club, and all these people in there, and he was like, isn't this cool? How cool is it that we're right in here where Christ would want us to be? And in the midst of it, we have a chance to impact people that may never have a chance to hear it. And this is what's cool. For God so loved the world that he sent us into the world. And sometimes Simple Church gets criticized because we do things a little bit different. But the same thing is true for who we are, is we want to remove the obstacles that keep people from getting to Jesus. And sometimes, man, all that other junk, religion and the clothes, and are they going to take an offering or not? We don't do any of that stuff. Why? Because, man, we want them to see Jesus more than anything else. And that's what I love about these guys. That's what I love about their music. If that's what you love, give them another round of applause, because, dude, it's good. I'm serious. Gets me jacked up, man. I'm telling you.
You're not very excitable.
No, I'm not excitable at all. All right. This is what's really cool as well, is not only does the world recognize it's good music, I mean Leno and CW and all these different things, but also the Christian music industry is recognizing it as well. You guys are now, and we've talked about this before, they don't know much about Dove Awards, but that's the Christian music industry's way to recognize the great artist in this current time. And this year, in just a couple of weeks, the Dove Awards are on in a couple of weeks. Let me make sure I get this right. Nominated for 7 Dove Awards, including New Artist of the Year, right here in front of you, Song of the Year, Album of the Year. Pretty crazy times. Dude, they deserve something for that. Come on, give them a little round of applause. You've been at Disney World recently now, Night of Joy. I mean, that's pretty cool. You are again at Anaheim Stadium out there in Anaheim, California, 34,000 people. God has really blessed you. What's it like to have just experienced success? I mean, to be a part of that.
Well, Luke could attest to this well, but there was a very clear time for me where, for King and Country was going in a very different direction. So I feel like we often try to do this little trick as musicians or people in the arts, that we're going to keep Jesus kind of to the side, and then at some point when we're on the right stage, we're going to do this magic trick and be like, da da da, Jesus is the reason for all of this, but you see it so often, at least I have in my peers, when they get to that defining moment, Jesus is nowhere to be heard or seen. And what has been so exciting about this, whether it is Anaheim Stadium, which was just a profound moment for us as a band, or the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, or in a church, or in a club, that yes, we want to present creatively and artistically and excellently. But what you will always find is that it will represent who Jesus was. And there will be honest, creative presentation, both verbally and in song and lyrics, of who Jesus is. And what has been so cool about that, like Luke mentioned, is ultimately we're actually being recognized for it. And so we can go into record label meetings and meet with, executives, and we can say, look, this is who we are. Mm-hmm. This is what we do. And this is why we do what we do. We believe this is music for the world, but we are Jesus followers, and we're not going to hold anything back. So if you want to partner with us, go for it.
That's awesome. That's cool. Again, the album that everybody's very excited about, you only got one album out, but it is a great album. It's, again, called Crave. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And there's a song that goes along with it we'll hear in just a minute. But give us a little bit of background on just that whole idea.
Well, our album's called Crave, and the last track on the album is called Hope is What We Crave. And if you were to take kind of the silver lining of the album, it is that there is hope. And the chorus of Hope is What We Crave just says, hope is what we crave, and that will never, ever change. And I actually went through an experience over the past couple months where I was very, very sick and found myself off the road. I actually wasn't able to go to the 34,000 attended show. He had to do it himself. I was sick, and I found myself on one particular night in an awful lot of pain, and I was just kind of crying out to God for comfort, for peace. I legitimately got pretty scared. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I heard him say one thing, and it was this. It was no matter how dark things might be in your life, no matter how difficult the trials that we may face may become, what they might be right now, no matter what takes place in life, that there is always hope in Him. And when we put together this album and these 11 songs, if you were to take that silver lining, it is that there is always hope, no matter how difficult things might be. And that's why we do music. That's why we write these songs. And that's why we get up in the mornings and able to share these special times with you guys.
Here's what I want to do, man. I want to do something different. They're going to get ready to play this song, but I'm convinced someone walked in here in a similar situation. Maybe you're going through sickness. Maybe you got financial trouble, relationship trouble, and you're looking for hope. I'm just going to say a prayer, and then they're going to come up and play this song. But the reason I want to do it is because sometimes you get disconnected. You think, well, that's for Luke, man. That's his story. But no, man, your story counts. And this story, although it may have been written years ago and now becoming popular, it is for you today. God, I pray for every person who walked in here looking for hope, longing for hope. God, that hope is found in you. And I pray that as they play the song, that they would sense that. They would see how real you are. It's not just an empty religion, but as a relationship that fulfills and meets all of their deepest needs. Speak to them even in this moment. In Jesus' name, amen.
Hope sleeps without me. Sweet dreams surround me, but I'm left out. I need a reason to believe, to feel. And these rooms are dark now, and these halls are hollow, and so am I. And it's hard to find now, to believe, to feel. And hope is what we crave, and that will never change. So I stand in faith. I need a drop of grace to carry me today, a simple song to sing. It's written on my soul. Hope's what we crave. I won't turn to dust now. Let these tears rust now on my face and give me a spark now to hear, to see. Hope is what we crave, and that will never change. So it stands in prayer. I need a drop of grace to carry me today, a simple song to say. It's written on my soul. Hope's what we crave. To live, to die, to lose, to care, to rise above, to love again. To live, to die, to lose, to care, to rise above, to love again, to love again. Hope is what we crave, and that will never change. So it stands in flame. I need a drop of grace to carry me today, a simple song to stay. Hope is what we crave. I need a drop of grace. It's written on my soul. Hope's what He gave.
Told y'all it was going to be good, huh? Man, listen, you don't want to miss tonight. I'm telling you, you're just getting little samples today. You're just getting just little pieces of what these guys are all about. But now you know why it's so special, man. I really cannot tell you how much it means just that you would do this for us. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for making it a priority.
And the honor is ours.
I'm
Thank you
serious.
for
I'm
having
very,
us.
very serious.
I kept saying to him in between services, I was like, man, you guys crazy here? You don't even really know us, and you have us doing interviews and all this other stuff. So you got a pretty wacky pastor here.
Yeah, they already know that better than you know,
Yes.
right? Better
This
than you know.
this goes down as the first time we have ever been involved in a complete service. So
No,
you've boosted our egos.
Yeah, there you- hey, that's
completely.
good.
Now we want to become pastors. You
Yeah,
know?
come
We
on,
can
man,
do
you
this.
got it. Welcome anytime. Not only one, you did three, right? You're like, my goodness, how's this keep going? But listen, it means something because all of these people in here we're very similar in the songs you're writing. Those lyrics so powerful, so great because we are longing for hope. And I think, again, you may have walked in here today and you're trying to figure it all out. Well, man, we're all still trying to figure it out. And we do know that it is Christ. And there's still those dark moments we were talking about before. Even knowing Christ, there's still these moments in your life where, man, you're going through a divorce or a sickness comes on and you're like, God, what's up? I mean, if you don't mind, man, just tell them a little bit, kind of like we were talking about before. It's just what was going on in your heart, even as you're writing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I had always kind of been fairly healthy my whole life, honestly, and haven't really had a whole lot of difficulty in that regards, and haven't really had come up against a ton of challenges in my life. And I had a digestive disorder, and I got down to about 125 pounds, and for a 6'4" guy, I mean, I looked terrible. My wife would come in, and she was always so upbeat, and she would give me my food. I was bedridden, and I didn't know this, but she would come in, she was cheery, and she'd walk into the other room and just lose it. And my mother-in-law was there, she'd cry, and it's sometimes hard for me to even talk about it a little bit just because of my love for my wife and to see her hurt, you know. And I actually watched, I'll tell this story, I watched a sermon by Andy Stanley, and my cousin actually came to me and he said, hey man, you gotta check this out. And the sermon series was on, what do you do when God doesn't show up? And man, I was praying, I was, God, help me get through this. I was in the most pain that I've ever been in my life, and quite frankly was a shell of who I was, even my personality. My wife would tell me, yeah, I didn't like you very much, but I did love you. And I just was a shell of who I was, and I watched this sermon, and he's talking about John the Baptist. And John the Baptist, as we all know, was the one who came before Jesus and declared who Jesus was and said, the man is coming. And then, as you kind of said earlier, when Jesus came, he said, here's the man. He pointed to him. And Andy Stanley then does something interesting. He says, but what we miss a lot of times in this story is when John the Baptist was in prison, he sent the disciples to Jesus and asked, "Are you the one?" So obviously John the Baptist had this intense doubt in his life, and it was right before he died. And you know, we all kind of know the end of the story. He actually ends up being beheaded, but the disciples go back saying, "Hey, look at who he is, look at what he's done." And for me, in that incredibly difficult, dark place, I had my doubts, I had my struggles. But what I did realize is that there is truly always hope. Even when, for me, I didn't understand where the next pain relief would come from. But that story encouraged me so much, because if John the Baptist is going to doubt, doesn't that give us all such hope in this world?
Yeah, that's cool. You know what's really cool about that too, that's why I appreciate you sharing your heart, is another thing that kind of transitioned to the next song, and what this whole thing is about is the disciples went back to John the Baptist and they said, "Yes, it is he." And they said, "Well, how do we know?" And he said, "Because the gospel is being preached to the poor." If you remember, he quoted Isaiah. And this is, again, where we're talking about this next song is probably their most popular song. I mean, the one that's been really the most powerful is, again, this proof of your love. And it's all about this relationships and just the power of those relationships. And again, the power to do good to whoever it may be, whether it be someone sitting close to you, you just don't want to be a big mouth. You want to prove it by your actions, whether it's your wife, a neighbor, a friend, someone in Rwanda, someone in Honduras, wherever it may be. And I know compassion is a big deal for you guys, and that all kind of works together because it comes back to relationships. Your wife's there serving you in the midst of one of your darkest moments. In the same way, we serve people in the midst of some of their darkest moments. And Christ, I believe, is honored in those moments, unlike anything else. Can you tell me a little bit just about your compassion experience and why it's a big deal?
Yeah, Compassion International, which many of you would know is a child sponsorship program, is those folks are very close to our heart, and the work that they're doing is absolutely incredible. I had the chance a little over a month ago to travel to El Salvador for a few days. And there was this one particular morning we'd gotten up and we were visiting one of the Compassion projects. And what Compassion does is they go in and they partner with churches, and they expand the church into an educational facility. They build a kitchen so they can make food for these children. And they introduce them to Jesus, most importantly. So for 5 days a week, while ever they're sponsored, they are in this program, in this church, and they're getting fed physically, intellectually, and spiritually. There was this one particular boy named Anthony who was at this project, and lively chap, probably 6 or 7 years old, and just had kind of a spark in his eye. And it's all Spanish, so we're getting translated. Everything's being translated. But he kept saying on the bus ride back to his house, like, "I've got a squirrel. I want to show you my squirrel."
Right.
And you kind of think, right, you got a squirrel. Yeah, this is good. It'll be a picture or something. And sure enough, we get to his home, which is in essence a tin shack, a waterless, powerless, windowless shack. We walk in, and his mother's there, and we thought was his mother and his father, and as one of his siblings, and it's just they were all so excited. They'd cleaned up the house as best they could, and we sat down. We had lunch, in essence, in the dark, because the only light was coming in through the door. Sure enough, we look up, and there's his pet squirrel in a cage. He let him out, and the squirrel ran around the house for a little bit and jumped back in the cage, and we just started talking, and we were asking about Anthony, and assumed that he was this woman's son. And she said, "Oh no, he's not my son, he's my grandson." So naturally we said, "Well, where's your daughter?" And she said, when Anthony was 40 days old, and my daughter was 14 years old, she was killed. She was kidnapped by gangs and killed. And then 3 or 4 days later, the gangs want to make a spectacle of the people that they kill, and so they leave the bodies in obvious places, so the mother had to ID her own daughter's body. She pulled a picture off the wall and handed it to us, a picture of her daughter, and it's a real mixed emotion on her face, because obviously there was deep sadness still, even 6 years on, but there was some joy in her. And we kept speaking, and come to find out that Anthony, little Anthony, every day he'd come home from these projects and he'd bring Jesus with him. And he introduced his whole family, 5 siblings, parents, father who used to be an alcoholic was reformed, and mother who used to, or grandmother I should say, grandfather and grandmother who used to have major anger problems, those have subsided, and there was just joy in the home. And it's so easy. We watch these infomercials, we pick up the packets and we see the pictures, and there's not really any connection in some ways to the reality of what we're doing. But what I saw, guys, a month ago, what I desperately want to convey to you today is that these are real lives, and not only are you impacting a child, but you're impacting a whole family. And when you have the opportunity to send messages back and forth, and when you send a message, it's like someone has hung the moon for these kids. I mean, they can't believe that someone from America, someone from another part of the world who doesn't know them, who has no reason to care or give or anything else other than just because Jesus, they just can't believe it. And it's such incredible witness and proof.
See, and that's what's so cool is you have that opportunity today, this morning and tonight. Compassion will be available tonight. African New Life is here now, where we sponsor 450 some odd kids or so. But trust me, there's millions. I mean, that's what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want to be just a big mouth. I don't want to be a church that just talks. We want to show it. We want to have the proof of our love in our actions and what we do with our resources, with our time, with our energy. And it can be local, man, just like it can be to take care of a family that's in need that you run into in the States. It can be global, man, when you pick up a packet and help a kid today halfway around the world. And it has the potential and the power to impact not just that child, but everybody involved in that. And that's what this next song is about. It's called Proof of Your Love. But there's one other little element, and there are a lot of kids in here that struggle with this, and that's their self-worth and their value. And I know you have a little bit you want to share with that, just because if you're a young person here today, man, we care about the kids around the world, no doubt, but we care about you as well. So just let's tag that little part, and then we'll do the song.
Well, Luke has been married for 3 years and has a little porker of a son named Jude, who's about 9 months old. And
He at one point weighed 99 percentile for his weight, and I did question my wife.
Yeah.
What are you giving him?
And I got married to a lovely girl named Mariah Peters just a little under 3 months ago, and she's actually here this morning. And so relationships are something that are very important to all of us, and one of the things we share at every opportunity we possibly can is we say, first of all, to you young ladies here today, girls, don't let any man disrespect you in relationships, and don't ever settle for second best. Yeah. So often it seems as though society suggests, culture says for you to talk or dress or think or feel like you're cheap, like you're worth nothing more than a penny. But we believe there's a God that says you're priceless. We believe it with everything in us. And we wear these necklaces, and they're in the shape and color of a 1-cent coin. And they have the word priceless stapled into them. They stand as a reminder to us that you girls are worth more than all the money in the world. And we wear these bracelets that say respect and honor on them. And we've got them both available here today. I encourage you to pick one of them up. We've literally seen thousands of guys and girls rally behind this cause as girls saying, I know what I'm worth and what I'm not worth. I know that I deserve to be treated like a princess because I am one. And as men saying, hey, count me in. I'll step up. I'll stand out. Chivalry is not dead. It will start with me. I will treat these ladies as they deserve to be treated, with respect and with honor. And I believe you're seeing some images up the back just a moment ago of the music video for a song called The Proof of Your Love, and it's depicted in a war-type setting. And there's a reason why we did that, because this is war. Sometimes we buy into this idea as believers that it's going to be red roses and green fields and sunny days. It's a battle. Relationships are a battle. But I think one of the greatest ways that we can represent God is when people look at you and they look at me and they say, man, maybe they don't even understand this whole Jesus thing, but they say, it's working. Husbands are loving wives, mothers are loving sons and daughters, fathers are protecting and serving, laying down their lives for others. The greatest proof of God's love, I believe, is how we love one another in relationships.
Ladies and gentlemen, the proof of your love.
If I sing, I don't have love, I waste my breath with every song I bring. An empty voice, a hollow noise. And if I speak with a silver tongue, convince a crowd, but don't have a love, I leave a bitter taste with every word I say. So let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. How you lived, how you died, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love. If I give to a needy soul that don't have love, then who is for it sings. All the poverty is found in me. So let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you're made of. How you lived, how you died, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love. When it's all said and done, when we sing our final song, only love remains. Only love remains. And if I speak with human eloquence and angelic ecstasy, but don't love, I'm nothing but the creaking of a rusty gate. And if I speak God's word with power, revealing all of his mysteries and making everything as plain as day, and if I have faith to say to a mountain, jump, and it jumps, but I don't love, I'm nothing. And if I give all I own to the poor, or even go to the stake to be burned as a martyr, but I don't love, I've got nowhere. So, no matter what we say, no matter what we believe, no matter what we do, we're bankrupt without love. Without love. Without love. So let my life be the proof of your love. I hear you sing. Let my love look like you and what you made of. The proof of your love. Let my life be the proof of your love. Let my love look like you and what you made of. How you lived, how you died, love is sacrifice. So let my life be the proof of your love.
Dude, are they good or what, huh? Yes! How cool is it? Look, before we get out of here, man, just let them know again you're glad they came. Give them one more round of applause. Come on. Listen, man, you don't want to miss tonight, man. Go get your ticket, man. Come back and hang out. 6:30 tonight, the box office is open. All you got to do is go get your ticket. We'd love for you to be a part. But let me tell you something before you go. You have a chance to be living proof, man, to walk out these doors, man, pick up one of these packets, go to the tent out there and say, man, I want to help somebody. I want to do good. I want to impact them and be living proof, man. I want to live that out. Please go by there and let them know you'd love some more information on that. If you're a guest, man, please fill out your communication card, drop it on the giving stations if you want more information about events like this. And then if you are again here and you want to know about how to know Christ, man, keep coming because it is simple. It's admitting you're a sinner, believing he is who he says he is, and committing your life to him. And he has the power to save, not religion. Until tonight, see ya, peace.